I mean, there is so much noise. There
Hmm.
are physical, mental, emotional distractions at every corner. Um, we're realizing that the discernment is necessary more than ever, and we need to stay focused. But that's been a challenge.
It can be so easy to lose focus,
Yeah,
and start looking at this life sideways. Like,
yeah.
what am I doing here? Why am I here? And ignoring the benefits. Like, what's up, everybody? This is Jubair,
Ariel.
and we're the Foraging Family.
Yeah, it's been such a journey moving out of the city life to a country life. And um, yeah, we were the first of our families to really make that move. So there was a lot that we did not know, but there was so much learning that happened along the way. And we're
Hmm.
so grateful.
There's a lot of learning still happening,
Yep, it won't
but
stop.
nope, no, it will not.
In today's video, we want to talk about one of our greatest challenges that we've had, that we faced here on our homestead, and in our transition, and just in this life as Christian homesteaders. What has been our biggest, greatest challenge? We were just talking about that the other day.
It would be staying focused on the reasons why, um, and letting that dictate the things we say yes to and the things we say no to.
Yeah. I mean, there is so much noise. There
Hmm.
are physical, mental, emotional distractions at every corner. Um, we're realizing that the discernment is necessary more than ever, and we need to stay focused. But that's been a challenge. The more and more we talk to other families and individuals, we realize that focus is something that everybody struggles with. How to stay
Hmm.
focused on your calling, your purpose, the goals that you have, because without a vision,
People perish.
right?
So one thing that has gotten us off focus, I think, is um, can I say dissatisfaction?
Mm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Um,
And discontentment, maybe.
I think they go hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah. Looking at where we are and forgetting where
We've
we've
been, yeah,
been and what we've come from.
yeah,
And it can be so easy to lose focus,
yeah,
and start looking at this life sideways. Like,
yeah.
what am I doing here? Why am I here? And ignoring the benefits, like the benefits for us personally, as far as our mental health and development,
Right,
ignoring the opportunities for our children,
right.
which was a big driver for us coming out here.
Yeah.
Um,
To get out of that city life, that toxic city life, that keeping up with the Joneses.
mm,
But sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, no, I think you're right. And you mentioned keeping up with the Joneses, but I think that's exactly what kind of triggers that dissatisfaction is looking at other lifestyles
Mm,
and kind of taking ownership of those expectations
right.
and making them your own and saying, oh, um, I think one struggle as the primary breadwinner for our family is just living on a single or majority single income, like we have been. It's
Mm-hmm.
There's been periods of highs, and then there's been periods of plenty, and then periods where we really had to strap it up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that is quite an overwhelming pressure. But the best thing we can do is to stay focused and really remind ourselves of why we're in this.
And what
Um,
God has called us.
mhm. The lessons that we're teaching our children, as far as self sufficiency, of enjoying the simple things, of the value of a hard day's work or diligence,
Mm-hmm.
in
Working,
any activity, working with your hands, working with your mind.
working together. What can
Hmm.
happen? We've spent many days and evenings with the family working on projects together, and just seeing them come to fruition, seeing the chicken coop built, seeing the nesting boxes, seeing
Mm-hmm.
the evidence of just hard work and labor and the many lessons that God teaches us along the way has
Mm-hmm.
been absolutely amazing. And honestly, those lessons don't come with convenience. They come when you are truly using your God-given gifts in labor. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what country living is about. It's building a character that will last the test of time.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Sometimes it does come with uncomfortability. By the way, we are finally getting eggs.
Yes, from a chicken.
6 months later, we're finally getting eggs.
And
Woo-hoo.
we're so excited. And that's also an income stream. And it allows our children to become entrepreneurs, and they already have their labels and their cartons ready to sell
Mm-hmm.
their organic homegrown eggs to the community. So there's just so much that we're learning and doing here that is just absolutely amazing and such a blessing from God. And when we stay focused, we can do a lot. We could
Mm-hmm.
do a lot for his glory.
Yeah. Well, one thing we've recently done is gathering up the fragments and really taking a hard look at our budget and realizing the surplus that we didn't realize we had, and
Mm,
then assigning that surplus so that it doesn't disappear on us, has been very helpful to let us know, whoa, wow, we've got more resources than we realize. God's really blessed.
mm-hmm.
And so, how do we make smart decisions with these resources?
Yes. And how do we, based on our vision for our family and based
Mm-hmm.
on the focus of our mission here in the countryside, how can we use that money to further grow those visions and that focus?
Yes.
Our ministry is country living. Our ministry is teaching people how to be self sufficient. Our ministry is family. And so, how can we use the resources that God has blessed us with to focus on growing those ministries? And that's just amazing that when we actually sit together and focus and sat and wrote our vision with our children, it's just been a blessing to see that it's like fuel. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like fuel when you're able to focus and have a vision. It's just like fuel to the family.
I think that's the value of focus, is that, um, even that surplus can be eaten up by discontent and
Mm,
dissatisfaction and chasing this, that, and the other, versus having that focus really helps you direct your energy, your time, your means in ways that are productive
right.
and that do benefit you as well as your family and do support you and strengthen you to do more.
These simple blessings, but
Hmm.
man, we can lose out on it because, that discontentment, it's just like the devil will snake his way into our lives sometimes. And I was just telling a friend of some things that I was doing. I was canning, and I was excited because my husband built me a new pantry and I was able to put the cans, and I was just so happy that I have storage for all of my canned foods, and I'm going to start canning applesauce and all these things. And then one little thing she said was, "Wow, you're doing old woman stuff." And man, that sent me like crashing down,
Mm.
and I immediately lost my focus. I immediately lost my joy, and I immediately felt dissatisfied with my life because my life juxtaposed to hers, she's living this amazing life in California, and she is on the news and doing all these things in the same track course that I was on. And so I immediately started comparing myself, like, man, what am I doing here? And it's just like, I just have to stop and just realize, like, this was a dream of ours to have our own apple trees and peach trees and figs, and watching my
Hmm.
children run around bare naked in the forest, like just living their life and baking sourdough bread, and most importantly having time together.
Mm.
Like, you're not rushing in and out of the door. We're not ships passing in the night. We have time together to have family worship in the morning and in the evening. He has a job that you love. You have a job that you love that is just aligned with our desires and our vision. Like, how often does that happen? Many people are working and hustling jobs that they hate just to live a lifestyle that they want. And that's not us. That's
Mm.
not us. And that already is a huge blessing. Count your blessings and name them one by one. Count your
Mm.
blessings and see what God has done. It's like, that's what the song says, and that's how we have to keep our focus. That, and if you gotta post that thing on your mirrors, on your doorpost, do it. because seeing is believing many times. And when we can see the truth and the many blessings, like we have a prayer board, and when we see and check off the prayers that God has done for our families, how encouraging that is.
This world will throw a whole bunch of distractions your way. Whether you're in the country or getting prepared to move to the country, there are a number of distractions at any given moment. And keeping your focus is so essential. What is God calling for you, and how is God moving on your behalf?
And what does He want your focus for your family to be? Does He really need you to take that second job, or does He need you to get your house in order? Does He need you to continually continue worrying about this and that, and like, or do you really need that? Do you really need to say yes to this, or do you need to start saying no? Like, what is it? And write those down and pray over them as a family, as an individual, you and God, you and Jesus, and focus. Start focusing.
One of my favorite verses is found in James 1. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally without upbraiding or scolding, and it will be given to him. So I hope you find that encouraging, that you are not doing this alone. You are not to make the decision on your own. There is a God that offers wisdom that you might not have at the moment, but He does.